We have no business being poor. Honestly, I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart. Because in certain parts of Nigeria, our land is so rich that if you can plant money, it can grow. So it's all about us embracing modernity.
I'm moving to Nigeria. I'm coming.
So all we need is to embrace modernity, improved agricultural practices, fertilization. And before you know it, right now the yield on some of our crops, like rice, 2-3 tons per hectare. In some climes, they produce 10 tons per hectare. Same thing with potatoes. Most of our output is low compared to global standards. So be rest assured that the trajectory, as I've always said, of global growth is based in Africa. And Nigeria will certainly make or mar that destination.
Nigeria indeed has no business being poor. But how prepared is Nigeria to make the decision of leading Africa? Like late Nelson Mandela says, Africa rises when Nigeria rises. Unfortunately, this giant has refused to rise and insists on pretending that it's sleeping. Nigeria still imports rice. Nigeria still imports flour. Nigeria still imports dairy products. Nigeria still imports wheat. Shamefully, Nigeria still imports fish. Even though we have rivers conclaving through our country, Nigeria still imports fish. So this is the solution that the federal government is proposing. But how are they able to match words with action? Are they ready to put boots on the ground? I've said in my previous video that the House of Representatives at the National Assembly, that's the lower chambers, having 360 House members, should move for a motion for every federal constituency to have a minimum of 5 hectares of land in each federal constituency for agriculture. A minimum of 5 hectares of land for 360 federal constituencies that Nigeria currently has. And you would watch food shortage importation decline. You will see employment rise. You will see youth restiveness reduce. Insecurity will be a thing of the past. Because when people are engaged, especially with agriculture, if they have something productive doing, an idle mind, like they say, is the devil's workshop. So get the people back to the farm. But it's not always the case for the Nigerian policymakers and leaders. They do all the talk. For policy creation, policy narrative, Nigeria has one of the finest world policies. Implementation is where we lack it. One of the things that would do, and I will put this, I wish the vice president would see this as a challenge to him, as a vice president and as a chieftain of the northern Nigeria, is the place of cattle grazing. Nigeria has still not come to terms to the fact that cows don't grow fat when they roam on the street. You need to get ranches for them. Nigeria still imports dairy products, and this is because our cows are not eating fat. The healthiest cow in Nigeria produces a maximum of 5 liters of milk daily, against competition of 30 liters in some other climes, like Egypt, Ethiopia, United States. So it's not enough to talk again about improving agriculture. It's not enough to talk about charting the course for Africa. What are you doing? What are the direct practical steps? And we don't need to wait for foreign investors to do this. These are things we can do by ourselves. Carve out 5 hectares of land for each federal constituency and let this be model farms with specific products. Nigeria has the capacity to produce and feed the whole of Africa. We have the lands. And like the vice president says, the lands are very fertile. Again, this is not about meeting at Davos and talking to the international community. This is about coming home and doing all that needs to be done. Nigeria indeed has no business being poor.